well, just as long as I get there safe, like I really don't care. Like,
well, that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you
down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. That's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand. And
like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had sex at the table.
What's going on? Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement. And before I introduce our panelists, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We go live Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern every single week, once a week. But let's go on to our panelist. We got Danielle.
Yeah. My name is Danielle. You can find me on Instagram at Fly Nurse Mom Wife, and here on Instagram on the CKQ podcast, and occasionally on Bloom and Ebony.
We got the doctor.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You can find me on Black Wall Street Trading LLC, and always on CKQ podcast. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe. And you can find me on behavior_consultant on IG.
Doctor coming in with the fade.
Come on, bro. You know,
is that you over there? Is that you know what I'm saying? Damn.
Man, we just walked in the house, man. We just got back from Rosie's.
Yeah, you just slid into the home base, man. Danielle coming in with the lashes, you coming in with the fresh cut. Guys, you're embarrassing me here. Please, I just got a bow tie. Can you calm it down a little bit?
Man,
please?
Bro.
Yeah.
Why it look like I'm still out backstage?
What's that?
Why it look like I'm still backstage?
I don't know. You're not.
Yeah, you're not. You're on the screen, bro.
You're definitely on the screen.
So is it like a little picture of you in your corner too?
What do you mean?
Right. It look
Wait.
like.
Yes, it is. It's always a little picture of you at the bottom to the right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, to the left, brother.
Yeah, to the left.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, it looked like he never let me on, but I know I'm on because I see So I switched everything around because I had to. Oh no, you finna cut all that off.
Well, while he's cutting that off, I got a little reaction that I want to start off with. All right. So
I know how to work.
On the topic of teachers, good and bad teachers, woke and, you know, the leftist agenda. Let's start with
Yeah, let's start. Let's
start. We're gonna start off light though. We're gonna start off, easy. Okay, warm up. We're gonna start with this one. Okay. Let's move you to this screen. All right. Fair use. Fair use.
If you would just get up and teach them instead of handing them a freaking packet, yo. There's kids in here who don't learn like that. They need to learn face to face. You're just getting mad because I'm pointing out the obvious and you're choosing. No, I'm not wasting your time. I'm telling you what you need to do. You want kids to come into your class, you want them to get excited for this, you got to come in here, you got to make them excited. You want a kid to change and start doing better, you got to touch his freaking heart. Can't expect a kid to change if all you do is just tell him. You got to take this job serious. This is the future of this nation. And when you come in here, like you did last time, and make a statement about, oh, this is my paycheck, indeed it is. But this is my country's future and my education.
I respect that. Can you go outside, please?
But there's a limit. When I'm not bitching, but simply making an observation.
Okay.
And now I will leave.
Hi, everyone. Welcome and welcome.
And this is where school shooters come from.
That's where school shooters come from.
Yeah, that's a school shooter in the making. You notice? That's a school shooter in the making.
Long hair, baggy clothes.
99% white male. Shows signs of he's obviously he has a lot. He's thinking too deep on his mind. You understand? Like he is literally trying to tell this woman how to teach her class.
He wasn't lying.
He wasn't lying, but I'm just saying there's psychological markers there. He needs to be watched. He should be red flag.
That teacher
talking about removing AR. You need the red flag. Come over the red flag rule, but we'll talk about that teacher. That teacher garbage. Oh, she don't care at all. I know what good teachers look like, and that right there is garbage. The fact that you would even mention paycheck to a class of students, you're garbage.
So could it be the idea that that teacher just burnt out?
She needs to do something else then, because she's garbage.
Shout out to my boy Stanley over there.
And I don't want to hear nobody defending no damn teacher. She's garbage.
She just probably don't like her job.
Right. So she needs to move on. She needs to go to somebody and say, hey, look, I'm burnt out. I'm garbage as fuck right now. And I need to, we need to hire somebody else because I'm not doing these kids no good. Because I actually do care. I know I'm burnt the fuck out and I don't want to be here. And I need to take an extended leave of absence and y'all need to hire somebody, but I'm burnt out. I'm garbage.
But when can be, you know what, that'll be our first question. When can it be about, if you have to worry about living, can it ever really be just about the kids?
It's always about the kids once you go into the room. It's only about the check when you're not in front of the kids. That's not their business. That's not your place. That's just the wrong everything.
What do you mean?
When you go into that class, them kids ain't got shit to do with your paycheck. Don't need to hear about it, know about it, think about it, feel it, nothing. And it shouldn't be coming out your mouth. What you should be doing is focusing on your kid that's there in front of you and doing what you signed up to do. That's what you're doing.
Okay, so what I'm saying is
never, when you're in front of those kids, should you be mentioning your paycheck. That's never a good
thing. I agree with the paycheck portion of it, but what I'm saying is if a teacher is now just mentally stressed because they can't make their bills. What?
They should need to take off, period.
Could it be that the salary for teachers is just not a living wage?
Oh, but
you know that.
When she got hired.
But you know that. You don't just pop up and become a teacher one day. You have to be a substitute, not a substitute, but you have to get an internship. Nigga, you be in there as aide. You mean to tell me you did all that after you got certified, bitch? You never did bring up pay? They know they ain't gonna make nothing. That's like a therapist. Therapists don't make no fucking money. No, sir. No, sir. The average, look it up. Look it up. Now, behavioral therapists make some guap, 75, 78. But a regular counselor, shit, 41, 42, maybe 50, maybe, perhaps, possibly.
Man.
And I don't give a fuck what kind of degree you got. Now, if you're a clinical psychologist, you'll make 100 plus. But don't nobody want to do them 7 years.
So, if we're talking about the future of our nation, like that kid said, because I was watching that video with someone and they were pointing at how that kid has probably pushed that teachers to their last nerve. So it's not so much the teacher's fault for reacting that way.
It's not the teacher's fault for reacting like lackadaisical because what?
Because that kid probably pushed them to that point. The kids are probably pushing that teacher to that point.
Okay, but when you're in an adult-child situation, the adult shouldn't be worried about being pushed by the child. Like, you're supposed to have better control over yourself. So that child, watching that child, that's the height of that child's frustration. That teacher is trash. Because first of all, the child didn't sound, his tone was not disrespectful. Though he was talking over her, it wasn't disrespectful. He was just direct, like, hey, but you need to listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying was absolutely true. She couldn't even really say shit because what he was saying was true.
Yeah, it was facts. It was facts.
So whatever the boy did don't matter, because if this is what he upset about, he have every right to be upset. And he the one whose buttons got pressed. That teacher's buttons ain't pressed watching him. She like, I don't give a fuck. I'm getting my money. Get out. You're not even worth responding. My son's teacher that I was complaining about on this podcast earlier this year, she retired after this year because I wore her ass out. I wore her ass out all year.
How so?
Oh, every time something was wrong, I was dog checking her ass. You're not about to do nothing wrong. You're not about to talk to them wrong. You're not about to make no kid feel wrong. I heard she was making kids stay. They was doing short learning, wouldn't letting kids go to the bathroom. So since I heard stuff, I made sure I was paying attention and jumping in and out that class like, hey, go on and tell the principal, because I got the principal's number in my phone.
Let me ask you, first, personally, should there be a point where parents step back and allow the teachers to teach?
If they actually teach it, and not
listen, hold on. If I'm saying, if your child is at some point going to be an adult and he's going to have to go into a workplace and he's going to have to adhere to some, unless he's straight up going to own their own business, all right, which you're pushing your child to. But if they ever do work a job,
he told me that's what he wanted to do. I don't push my kids enough.
Cool. But now when we're talking all the other kids, if all the other parents are reacting the same way you are, but they're going to still go out into the real world and they're still going to have to adhere to rules under someone's business.
When did I say my child don't adhere to rules?
No, but you're coming in and checking the teacher whenever you feel those rules are unfair or unqualified or unjust in a way, correct?
So you would watch an adult make a child cry because they have to pee and you wouldn't say anything?
I'm saying there's better way. There's you checking that, okay. I don't know exactly what it is that you're checking too.
I just told you what I was checking. That was one of the things I said.
But you're saying you're wearing her ass out, right?
Yes.
Are there other things? There's other things.
She just did horrible things. She was just not a good teacher.
How many years was she a teacher?
Aside from this particular one right here, because y'all just going around in a mating in a waltz right now. There's other parents and that you're talking about, Clement, that I'm gonna agree with you on it. They need to just stay the fuck away from the school.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying.
Your child is trash. Motherfucker's garbage ass kid, and you all up in this motherfucking teacher's face talking about what you're gonna do to her, this, that, and the third, and you got a bad ass, booger face ass child up in here terrorizing this goddamn woman's classroom, and you need to sit your black ass down somewhere. And then you have that, my goddamn child ain't did, I'm goddamn. And then you see where the child behavior come from, because you bring your loud mouth, wig wearing ass down there to this motherfucking school, and they see plain as day where this badass child get they fucked up behavior from. They retarded ass mama. That's who they get it from. Who have no control over their child, and all you want to do is protect them. You that same motherfucker, when that motherfucker go out here and kill 2 or 3, no, Jesus, don't give him death, Lord. No. And the judge sentenced that motherfucker to 295 fucking years plus 2 life sentences because he a fucking terrorist.
Although the terrorists don't really get time like that, because the terrorists are the white people, and so they don't actually get time.
Well, no, I'm talking about a terrorist to people. Period. Like he's a terrorist fear and unrealistic fear in everybody that lives in the neighborhood around him, wherever there's some bitch free at. Wherever he loose roaming, people are scared of this motherfucker. Because they ain't no telling what the fuck he gonna do because he done did so much. He's a menace to society. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Those parents need to just sit the fuck down and stay the fuck away from these schools. Defending them. I see them.
Shout out to you, Simon. I see you in the chat. Shout out to you.
My son's mama used to be one.
That's her?
Ain't no damn angel. That boy be over there being bad as fuck, and she go over there defending him. I didn't. I go right up in there. Tell me everything he does. Here's my personal cell phone number. Text me immediately when he does something. And they were so happy that they had a parent who was like, let me know this nigga. I know he ain't perfect. I know mine ain't no angel. And they will get his ass wore out. Before he get home, I have 6 text messages and 3 emails. And he walked in the door. So how was school? Oh, it was great. Oh, really? You got anything you want to talk about? Huh? No, sir. No. Not at all. Oh, you ain't got nothing? Well, let's talk about English. Let's talk about third period class. And the English. Let's talk about history. Let's talk about art. What you doing there? All right, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down because he's smart as fuck. He done put it together. He was like, ain't no fucking way he knew I fucked up in all 3 of them bitches unless somebody done told him something. I'm gonna bring you 10 toes down like you taught me, Dad. I'm gonna do that. All right, and motherfucker, give it to me. I fucked up. Sounds like a damn drunk husband who come home and then damn had an affair. Okay, you got me. I fucked up. I'm sorry. Don't. I need your hands on the chest, son. I need your hands on your chest. Turn around, put them down, and let's get busy. I'm finna wear that ass out.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we've gotten to a point where it's the kids can talk over the teacher, and the parents are always going to come and go after the teacher.
Right.
And
and that the kid really did do some shit.
The kid, yeah, like kids are assholes.
The whole bathroom thing, nigga. We used to lie to say we can go to the bathroom. So
I remember I lied every single until I damn near left high school. I was lying about going to the bathroom every single time.
Fucking everything.
Everything. Like,
nigga, ain't nobody having to go. If you think about it, a fucking kid hold they fucking piss all fucking night. So you mean to tell me this nigga can't hold that bitch for 55 fucking minutes? And you got 2 minutes between classes to go to the bathroom.
Put him in front of a video game and see how long he can hold this pee.
That motherfucker sit there for hours.
Hours. Days.
A whole season of goddamn Madden.
So, yeah, I think teachers are getting worn out because they're just put under far too much pressure from both the school doesn't have their back.
Nope. The parents don't have
don't have their back.
Principal throw your ass completely under the bus. His
correct.
Ass, or her political ass. You ain't got no ally in that school if you're a teacher. That's why I said I would never. On my mama, I would be a college professor. Because I'm going. It's a different dynamic. I don't give a fuck. Here's the policy. You miss 5 of these motherfuckers, you drop from the class. You late too many times in my shit, I'm gonna kick you out the class. And anything your black ass come in after that, I get to call the police and have you escorted off the campus. See how that works? I don't have to deal with it.
So I think this is the kind of parents that this is the kind of kid that the parent ends up raising. All right. This is by YouTuber Chisa Zed. I think I'm saying it right. Probably butchered it, but it's all right though. He's all right with it.
Yes, Chisha is. Well, it sounds like Chisha Zed.
Yeah, Chisa Zed or something like that.
Chisha Zed, whatever.
Whatever. He's all right with it. Fair use. Fair use.
Shit. Let's get it.
I'm gonna see if you gonna tell him. He's coming in right now.
I want to know what's
and then because he ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, he got to go.
Never no time.
At some point,
never no time. Never no time.
Well, tell him, Christian.
No, you tell him. You talking about you grown and you gotta go somewhere. I told him, you understand, you ain't going no damn way. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be want to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So I mean, what?
No, if anything, you can go not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the bills in here. You don't tell me where I can go.
The thing is, like, why do I got this? Is my mama house. Like, why do I got to leave my mama house?
Period.
Man, you damn near 40 years old. Damn near it's time to go. I mean, at what point?
I'm 29 now.
Well, that's.
Hell no, player. Look, hell no. First off, ladies, that's the fucking dude that y'all motherfuckers be fucking getting hooked up with. Then blaming all the normal niggas for all the shit that he need to do to you. Let's just point that out. And you see where it come from. Right there. This is why men need to be in the fucking house raising they fucking kids. Because that look like a stepdaddy.
Oh, yes.
Right. You can tell. And he beta as fuck. Listen how he talk to her. Listen at that domineering alpha woman in that bitch. Them my motherfucker. I'll be through talking. I get my motherfucking resources and relocate. And you and your son can pay all them goddamn bills. Figure it out. You crazy as hell. That woman sound like a whole fucking idiot. That rusted motherfucker do need to get out the goddamn house.
Damn near 40 years old. I'm 29.
I don't give a fuck. He fucking 7 years overdue.
Okay, so here's my counter argument to that though. So I think in the Black community especially, we're very quick to try to throw our kids out of the house, whereas in every other community, they let their kids stay there while they try to learn and build and while they try to build, store up their resources and get ready to actually make a move out in the world. No?
What community? Who do that shit?
Don't Indians typically stay at home until like they're damn near married?
Indians stay until they get married.
Yeah.
Until they're married, they stay.
Who make up less than fucking 1% of the U.S. population?
Hispanics, they gather together.
Hispanics,
most immigrants gather.
Yeah,
because they immigrants. Go to where they live at.
Everybody in America is an immigrant.
Yeah, we're all immigrants. I mean, America's made up of immigrants.
Well, let's just talk about the majority populations.
Okay.
Blacks and whites.
Okay. Well,
blacks make up 13-14%, and then whites make up everything else. And
Hispanics make up more of a percentage than blacks do. Hispanics are like 20-something%.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying. Blacks, white, go.
Bro, whites, you gotta fucking go. Whites kicking their ass out at 19. Or you gonna pay fucking rent. They don't let them sit around that motherfucking day 30 years old. Not in the South. Not no parts of the southern region.
Okay, so
they do that shit up north, but they don't do it down here in the South. We gotta go.
Do nothing. But I definitely have seen every other culture let their kids stay to gather themselves.
Correct. I've seen that. But what I'm also saying is I think for white people, I think they're kicking them out if they're not doing anything with their lives, or they're probably working for some kind of family business.
And they're paying rent.
And they're paying something, but something is happening. There's some level of exchange.
Walking around talking about this is my mama house. They don't. That's one thing. If you look at a fucking white dynamic home, you ain't gonna hear certain things in that home. You just not gonna hear it. They don't. They have a different mindset than what we do. Different culture. I get it, but their mindset is more growth oriented. Now, granted, they have an advantage. They have an advantage. There's no arguing that. But you can't. You around them. You ain't never thought maybe I should try that shit. You try every goddamn thing else that they do. Black drugs weren't real big in the black community. You trying that shit now. Meth was unheard of, but now you're trying that shit. So, but you won't try the mindset on everything that's good. Why is that? That's the question I want to ask. Things that make sense, that could easily translate over. Why won't we try that?
I think some of us are. I think that we just be wanting everybody in our community to be perfect, and that's just unrealistic. We point out a lot of negative as though there is not a lot of positive.
What do you mean?
I be trying to
like,
find a lot of positive.
I don't know.
So you saying that where y'all live, y'all see no happy, productive black people? Because those are people I'm talking about. We talk about all the negative as though there are no positive.
I think they are productive.
Like, what positive? As though you don't know a positive in the black community. If it's all trash, then okay for y'all.
Nah, you know how I am. I'm looking at.
I mean, my whole life is very positive. People who are around me are positive. Most people who I conversate with, who I have conversation with, are black, and their lives are wonderful. Everybody who I'm talking to all want to make a difference, and all want positive things, all try to check themselves. So we always point out a lot of negative, but this is not a blanket thing. Like these are just pockets of us. We're a small community, so if a small amount of us are doing some things, it seems like a lot because our majority are the negative. But that's we do things that are wonderful. That's what we're, making the strides that we make. Even with all the things that people do to hold us back, we are the most held back race, and we still are making strides. So let's not act like we are just completely.
But I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat the bad part either. I'm not gonna act like
it's not sugarcoating it, but we definitely highlight it way more than positive. That's true.
I got you, but we gotta address it because more of us could be better. We gotta address it. It needs to be addressed. Because there's way too many blacks that don't fucking have a growth mindset, and that's a whole goddamn fact. I see it all the fucking time, and they don't. I think motherfuckers in a bad living situation that had a more growth mindset than motherfuckers in the middle class. I've seen
and that's why I think
born in the middle class, but they got a fucking stagnant mindset, and ain't nothing growth about it because they want to fucking be hood. And they ain't from the hood, never would live there, nothing like that. But they just have a fucking stagnant mindset. And then that shit just passed on generation. The black community is not as strong as our forefathers were. No. And you can see that. We're not as strong as we used to be. We used to be ride or die for each other. Like, period. Our kids were raised by blacks.
How you doing, Nick?
Be a time where if we all lived in the same neighborhood and me and Clement's kids was out and you and Yannick was sitting on the stoop or whatever, and y'all heard one of our kids seen one of them fucking up, y'all could go over there and just fucking get at their ass. And then come tell us, hey, we had to get at your little boy ass today. What'd he do? He was out here doing this and doing that. Oh, really? And then he'll get his ass towed up again for embarrassing the family. That's what they mean when they say take a whole village to raise a child. In Africa, in Africa, they still practice that shit. And a lot of parts
that just depend on where you're from. Because if you're an active parent and the parents around you know you and know how you parent, you shouldn't have a problem. I don't have a problem like that in my neighborhood.
I think that's
we have a Facebook page, and we all communicate with each other, and we all have permissions to say something to each other's kids. So, I mean, I'm just saying it's possible. It's not like it doesn't happen at all.
I think in the black community it's not as prevalent. I don't think we.
I'm not saying it's as prevalent, but I mean,
I don't think we work as well together when it comes to grouping and working together. Even keeping ourselves like within our family and trying to build from there. I don't think we do that. Grouping and staying together and learning to build together, we don't do that well. That's really the main point of that. Even if all of the races are staying in their houses, they're all building together. Like we stay in our houses and it was like, okay, I'm just going to keep my son in the house until he's damn near 40 years old. And it's okay if he doesn't have a job because God didn't intend that for him yet. It's insane.
Bro, that is insane, man. Like, give me a fucking reason a fucking kid needs to stay in the goddamn house when they 30 fucking years old. Give me a reason. I want to hear it.
If the parents didn't have to,
it ain't happening. Y'all hear me? Jamarcus, you know you're not staying in the house till you're 20, 29 and 30 years old. You do know that, right? Oh, you gonna get your own place. You understand that, right? Oh, yeah. Good.
But if you
Chase it.
have an elderly parent, what if you're 30 and your mom is like 80?
She shouldn't have been fucking at 50.
Damn.
But it happened now.
That math was on point.
The hell?
It happened now.
She should be married. That's her husband's job.
Yeah,
If she 80, I would imagine her husband
But she
just
should
as
have
old.
stayed married. That's where the whole dynamic is fucked up.
But if she 80, wouldn't her husband be the same age? So what is he supposed to be doing for her?
Bro, listen. The dynamic is fucking husband, wife, child. It is not husband, maybe kick that nigga out and I'll just marry my fucking son. They don't work like that. Your son got a whole life. His job is not to fucking... When he was born, he did not fucking promise to take care of you for the rest of his fucking life. You promised to take care of him till he became a fucking adult and teach him how to be a respectful young man and get the fuck out on his own, start his whole family, and you cleave unto your husband. That's how the shit's supposed to go. And make this shit work. Which should be his daddy in a perfect situation. And his daddy should be there on your deathbed, not your son. Period. That's how that works. And then when his ass to be and most of the time the one man go first. Any damn way. So shit. So the son eventually gonna come back around. He ain't gone forever, but the nigga don't have to live in the city. Tell the nigga to move out down the street or some shit. So you can see him every day. But in the house, it's disrespectful as fuck, especially if you got a damn step-husband, a husband that's a stepfather. That's disrespectful as fuck. Keeping this grown-ass man around this other grown-ass man all day. Can't even gotta watch what he fucking say around you because you got two attitudes gonna come out. That's how kids get killed. Because them boys, they take offense to this shit. Can't even argue around them. Don't be talking to my mama like that. It ain't none of his business. He shouldn't even be there.
Let's tackle a little bit more of this video. Fair use.
Pretty 10
But you
years
know
away.
what? When I met you, you was living with your mama.
Man,
Wow.
please, y'all was in and out. Come
You was
on,
living
man.
with
At some point, you need to make your own way. That's
Unique, I'm gonna rewind it so you can watch a little bit.
You want to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. You know, so I mean, what? You know.
No, if anything, you can go, not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the bills in here. You gonna tell me where I can go?
The thing is, like, why do I gotta? This is my mama's house. Like, why do I gotta leave my mama's house?
Period.
Man, you damn near 40 years old. Damn near it's time to go. I mean, at what point?
I'm 29 now.
Well, that's pretty 10
But
years
you know
away.
what? When I met you was living with your mama.
Man,
Wow.
please, y'all was
You was
in
living
and
with
out. Come
You
on,
was
man.
living with your mama.
I
Now
was
you
only
gonna tell
22
me.
years old.
Now you gonna tell me because he's
No, I ain't
29.
gonna lie, but I ain't getting up. I'm not getting up.
Man,
I'm
you
not
got to
going
go.
nowhere. I'm not going nowhere.
Yes,
Mama house.
well,
And you ain't gotta go
You know
nowhere.
what? Damn, they ain't gonna pay no bills either. Damn it. Now, how you feel about that? You don't want him to go? I won't pay the bills. But
You gonna continue to pay
he
the
got to
bills.
go though, man. It's too much. See, we arguing stuff about stuff. You know
But at
what
the
I'm
end of the
saying?
day, back at the end of the day, all y'all doing is telling me to help. I ain't saying nothing. Like,
Man, you a
so
grown
y'all
ass
saying
man. You supposed to know man, garbage over field. You supposed to know to take that outside. Come on, man. I don't have to tell you all this stuff, man.
The thing is, I'm barely here, so I'm barely making garbage. So if I got to the garbage shop, I'm barely here. If I'm barely here, barely making garbage, barely making dishes, like, why am I gonna do anything?
She
What?
always make excuses for you, man.
Like he don't even be here. So
Bro, get this shit off of the screen, man. Weak ass woman raised a weak ass dude. That's where weak ass dudes come from, right there. Weak ass mamas. Weak ass mamas with low self esteem raising motherfucking sons by herself. That's
Okay, all right. So all that aside, what can he, as a stepfather, is there anything that he can actually do to turn that situation around?
Leave.
Interesting. Interesting.
Get the fuck out of there. You think I'm finna sit there? That's why I'm so heated. This nigga sitting there taking lip from the fucking son and his fucked up wife. You got me fucked up. I'm out. But the little nigga wouldn't have never had a 21st birthday in that bitch if I was there. I would have been already laying it down. So where you gonna go? You'd be 21 next week.
So
look at any apartments.
Here's my thing. And to your point, to exactly your point, what you're saying, and that's what I was trying to get to. You would make yourself active in that child's life, no matter what his age. Yep. Okay, you're gonna be moving out. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go start looking for apartments for you. You're not just gonna say, "I want you out of the house." Good luck. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be weird.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I've been like, we'd already been. I don't know how long they've been together, but
even if you're stepping in that situation right there.
The woman said that when she found him, he was at his mama's house, and he said he was 22, and he well over 22, so he been there for a minute.
So he ain't been really paying attention to this nigga.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Shit but pay bills. So he a bum ass nigga too. Only thing he did was came in and brought a paycheck, and then he thought because he brought a paycheck, then that was authority. Nah, nigga. So all you men out there, that don't make you an authority, nigga, because you bringing resources in the house. That is not all that's needed. You got to bring time and motherfucking attention to everybody who live there. Not just the woman, nigga, but you got to bring time and attention to the fucking kids. Then you don't get all that lip. Like you heard what he said about taking out the trash.
Yep.
My boys know at 12, nigga, I don't give a fuck where the trash come from. Is it in your house that you live in? I don't take out trash, nigga. I done spent my days taking out trash. You take out the fucking trash. I pay the bills. You don't pay that. Nigga, y'all take out the trash. Y'all do the dishes and y'all clean the fuck up. Period. That's the way that works. Now, if he's been spending time with him and molding him, he wouldn't have that conversation.
And that's the point that I'm trying to get to. It's not the fact that the kid is talking back, it's the fact that you have shown such little attentiveness in that child's life. Even if he's an adult, even past the age of 18, doesn't matter what. Just a general person. You cannot tell someone to do something when you haven't actively tried to help them out or build them up in any way in their life. And even if he's saying like, okay, you should know that, how should he know? You've never tried to instill that like habit inside of him. So how should he know?
He don't know. You let him believe that it was fine. And she was probably one of those she sounds like one of the mothers that every time he tried to say something, you're not his daddy, you ain't gonna be able to talk to him. But this is the reason that CJ said, leave the motherfucking women alone that's got kids. Right there. That's the fucking point to CJ. That's exactly what the fuck CJ talking about right there. But now if you want to do that, you want to take that responsibility on, just know this. The kids and her baby daddy come before your black ass. Just remember that. And I don't care what lies she tell your black ass when she dating you. Oh, I hate him. He ain't shit. You ain't never got to worry about him.
So
the minute you do something, watch and see goddamn how important, just what their relationship is like. You'll see.
So let me ask you this then, because you're someone that's going to step in and you're going to try to take charge of the situation.
Right.
Not even try to. You're going to take charge.
I'm going to take charge of the situation. It's not even a fucking.
So, is there a way to do that without someone feeling like they're being looked down upon, they're being controlled in any kind of way?
Who?
Well, if let's just say the woman. Okay. The woman right there. So she's gonna come in. You can't tell my son XYZ.
Oh, I am gonna tell him.
Okay. Or now let's just point out the child. Oh, but you ain't my dad. Are there is there something you could have done before getting to that point in time? Because all I'm saying is all this leads into the school. Like all this gets pushed on into the school, and we're like, oh, the teachers have to be taking care of this. But I think it's like they should be taken care of at home. You get what I'm saying?
I'm trying to age this man. He got to be 40 years old. So the boy was probably 9. So they probably been together about 20 years.
I think he might have been older than 40. I think he's older than 40. Because is he saying
that means that boy was about 9 or 8 years old when they got together.
Okay.
The older he is, the longer they've been together. Because she met him when he was 22. That's like Danielle pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
So if this nigga 42, right? If they've been together 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
They either been together 20 years, 19 years, 18 years. Either way, that damn boy was 9, 8, 7, 6, or 5.
He's never made a single impact in that child's life for him to still think, I don't know what to do.
He never bonded with him. What he probably did was ignored him. But the mother can make you ignore him. But you have got to come to her and tell her, man, what do you want from your son? Because you can't give it to him. His dad is not around. I'm his dad. And I'm willing to take on that responsibility. But you can't give him what he needs to be I don't give a fuck what you think. You cannot teach him to be something you ain't never been. Stop listening to Oprah and stop reading the fucking internet. You cannot teach him to be anything that he has never been. You have never been. You cannot do it. You can make them nice. You can make him respect women, but you can never teach him to be a man. It's way more to being a man than that. You have to know how to be responsible. You have to know how to sacrifice. You have to be selfless. You're going to have to know how to be assertive. You're going to have to know how to be decisive. You're going to have to know how to use logic. You have to be a decision maker and make great decisions, not okay decisions. Because decisions that you make affect the whole house. Because you're a man. By authority, you are the head of the house. Period. And I'm not raising him to be no 50-50 nigga. Because women, no matter what the fuck you say, don't want a 50-50 nigga. Period. They don't. Listen to some of the podcasts. They don't want no 50-50 nigga.
They'll say it.
At worst, nigga, they want to keep all of their fucking money and you pay every damn thing else. But they keep all their money to themselves.
Unique. What do you think?
Look how disgusted a woman look when you goddamn tell her you want to split the date. Split the date. Whole goddamn face.
I like your hair, by the way. Your hair looking nice today.
Thank you very much. I was doing the stuff to stream. So that clip, that's what you want to know?
That clip, what we've been talking about, anything. Shout out to you, Simon. Thanks for coming up on the panel, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Simon. That clip was it was funny. And I agree with both sides in the sense of maybe he should be moved out, but he shouldn't be just thrown out. Like, oh, we have a tendency sometimes in the Black community, you turn 18, okay, you got to get out of here. You ain't in my pocket no more. That's that poor tendency. So sometimes, we kick them out too early without even giving them any type of decent foundation on what they're supposed to do when they're out of here. So I agree on that side of not just kicking your child out. But then the other side is the dude where it's like, damn, you are kind of old and you do need to have some type of relationship with him. And you can tell, like I said, he didn't. What happens is sometimes the mom in that type of situation will put the child over the relationship, because at the end of the day, if the man leave, they gotta still take care of that child. That's their blood. So sometimes I think women do that sometimes because of that. Because men come and go, but they child, that's the person they need. They gotta take care of them. They gotta take care of that child. I mean, some women think like that. I mean, It depends on the situation. Like, I don't think that was a good situation right there where he wasn't even helping. He wasn't even trying to do nothing. He wasn't giving him no money. That's not a good situation. Like, if he gonna be there, he should at least be helping. But I mean, how you gonna pick?
Hold on, Simon. Go on, Unique.
How you gonna pick some man that you don't even know is gonna still be there, and that's your child over your child? I don't.
Ooh, I got something to say to that. But hold on, John. I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna let Simon go real quick, and I'm gonna come to you.
Sorry, bro. Yo,
what's going on?
They pick the men. We pick the women. So at the end of the day, you can't complain. You can't start going, "Oh, he did this, like she did that, blah blah blah." You know, we pick our people. Like, I'll be an adult with it because sometimes I come in all forceful and there's no relation. So what I'm saying is, like, I picked my ex-wife. She's crazy. She, you know, I love her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So there's a balance. You can't just go, "Oh yeah, it's not all black and white." That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay. The doctor, John.
First of all, man, I you know what, Simon, right? We do pick them, and we already talked. We had several podcasts where I talked about stop fucking thinking the next motherfucker you meet is your fucking husband or your wife, because it's probably not. So you need to do a better job picking. That's first of all. But when you go into a relationship and you got kids, you can't go in there. If you're gonna marry this nigga, you gotta marry the nigga who you feel like has got staying power. Because niggas is not the ones who leaving these goddamn marriages. Women are. Women are 70% of the motherfucking divorces are initiated by the woman, and that is a fucking fact.
It's like 80% actually.
If not higher, right? 70 plus. So the men ain't coming in this. I ain't never know the motherfucking dude who just quick to break up with a bitch at all, ever. I don't know them niggas who just quick to break up with a motherfucker. Typically, this nigga get broke up with. Typically. Now me, I fire motherfuckers. I have, but I wasn't no good at picking. The only good thing about any of my relationships, I got pretty babies out of it. I got good boys. And they good not because of who I had them with, they good because of the foundation that I gave them.
That made me crack up the fuck.
But as far as like, typically, the one who, nigga, you get broke up with. They find a reason to break up with your ass. Men ain't leaving these so you to think, well, I gotta treat him like shit because he might leave. Well, goddamn, you gonna push him away. You ever thought about that? You gonna push this motherfucker away. A man come in and he willing to bring his resources and take and father a child that he did not father, but be a stepdad to a child that he didn't make, and treat him just like he one of his. That's all you need to fucking see. Do he treat my fucking child like he one of his? When his kids come around, do he slight mine? That's what the fuck you need to want to. That's what you need to want to know about. You don't need to fucking worry about the other bullshit. Because at the end of the day, at some girl gonna get your son nose wide motherfucking open, and ain't a goddamn thing gonna keep him there at the house with you. Not a fucking thing. So stop substituting these fucking sons for a man and go get a fucking man. That's what a lot of women do. A lot of fucking women do that. They want somebody to love, so when they have a boy, they love that fucking son just the same, start loving him like they love a fucking man.
Sorry.
And just never date no more. They don't date nobody. They just pour all their attention into their son. Then you got an oversaturated fucking boy walking around here feminine as hell. Can't be told no. Get over emotional and over every damn thing. And you wonder where that shit come from. From you. You did him like that. You made him like that.
I think you know, it's gonna sound a little like Chris, but I think both parties play a fault. All right, it's sitting the fence a little bit. Like I think both parties just don't put enough effort and time and attention. Like he's just not. He's putting in the bare minimum, which is I'm coming in and I'm bringing a paycheck. She's just saying, okay, well, you know, like I'm here. That should be good enough. I'm here. That should be good enough. Like she's not trying to pour into him at all. And he's thinking he could do the best that he can. Oh, okay. I didn't even see her say that. He's thinking that he's doing the best that he can, but in reality, he's not. And she doesn't really care to do anything more. But that's just how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. The destination is interesting because sometimes when you're in a position where you don't acknowledge an experience, you don't understand and appreciate the actual outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And the outcome, realistically, is that of happiness. I mean, that's what we want, really. I mean, it's just like everything else. I said this before, it's like Geico. It's like garbage in, garbage out. As black people, as people anywhere. Like we go to, you know, we have these things where we have these conversations, but at the end of the day, we try to get educated. We go into sort of schools and colleges and get qualifications and certificates that allows us to sort of pay our bills, basically. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not really sort of like, you know, it could be sort of like a gaslighting to the rest of our family, but we're paying our bills. That's what we're trying to do. So it is what it is, you know. And we can't underappreciate black women. We can't underappreciate our women. We can't underappreciate our black men. But we need to get our shit together, like, because it's like we're underappreciated. And what are we working towards? That's the fact. If we're not really interested in not sort of being underappreciated, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hop right back into the video. Tack, welcome to the panel, my man. We're gonna hop right back into this reaction video that we're doing, all right? All right. Fair use.
What is you talking about? He don't be here like that. He come here, he sleeps, and then he on business the rest of the day.
When he's here, he needs to help out. He needs to do some things. He
Well,
needs
I
to be
tell you what,
productive.
he ain't paying no bills,
well, damn it,
and
he
he
gonna
ain't
start
got
paying some bills around.
I ain't paying.
But
I
I
gotta pay.
I'd rather want to
My
look out.
But listen, my mama said I gotta pay no bills. I ain't paying no bills.
He gotta pay. What I want him to do is save his money and do what he needs to do with his money,
You know the reason
and
why
not pay no bills.
because all this stuff she bringing to him, he still got the titty in the mouth. You let all that stuff go on.
No, you know what I know? You know, you jealous. You jealous of my son.
What the f?
You would say some bull
But
crap.
I don't know if you jealous or not, but I just know I ain't getting on my mama's house. Like, if I gotta get my mama's house, you gotta put me on my mama's house at the end of the day.
Well, damn it, I'm gonna be carrying you. No, you got to go.
You don't mean you want to carry him out then if that's
No
the case.
problem carrying them out. I shoot them on out. And you,
Michael, now you know good and damn well I'm not kicking my son out.
Well, what?
I ain't worried about it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm here.
A mess.
So I'm ready to get out. I'm gonna be here. So
At what point are you trying to? What's your plans for this man? What's
my plan is to stay in here as long as I need to stay in here. That's my.
And what if he 45, 50?
And he gonna be 45, 50 up in here.
Crazy as hell. Well, damn it, I'm gonna be out there.
I
No, he's going to go me.
Get the step. He's my only son. He ain't going nowhere. My only son, shit.
You the one made him like this because your weak ass.
You know what?
Made him.
You come and go. Your son is forever.
I couldn't do it.
See what I'm saying?
You better go.
I see what I'm saying. That's
right. And like I said,
you made him this way. You made him this way.
I ain't make him this way.
This is a product of your.
I ain't make him this way. Like I said, it ain't like he don't.
Your bad.
It ain't like he don't know how to get out here. Like I said, when he ready to go, he can go.
Okay. Thoughts? Tat, we'll start with you, my man.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound pretty good. What's going on, my man? Drive safe, man.
No, it's cool. No, I mean, I look at it like this, right? It's to each his own, right? Like if that's the way she want to get down, that's her choosing. The other thing is, dude already knew that. He didn't find out about that day. He don't find out about that through that argument or conversation. He already known that. And the other thing is, she done already gave him a version of he could leave. So that proved one thing. It ain't even his stuff. You understand what I'm saying? See, now if you're talking about in terms of men and their social contract to society, yeah, we could look at just that part of it and say at 40 or 45, maybe he should have his own. He should be more developed, doing some things, accountability, responsibility, being a provider. If we just isolate that out, yeah, I go with that because that's how I was raised, you know, like that. But in terms of her, in terms of dude, he knew what he was on because, like I say, if she gonna come out that loosely and say you can leave, that ain't her first time saying that, and it's not even his stuff. So he a visitor. Them her house, she the warden. She gonna run it the way she want. And if that's what she choose, so be it. That's all I say. It don't work for me. I wouldn't promote that. I frown on the practice. But I'm not gonna be with a woman that get down like that either, other than the smash. You know, then I don't care whatever. You know, because she got her reasons why she want her son there, a grown man or whatever. That's all I'm gonna say. I know what I wouldn't do. I used to tell my nephews, you can't be laying in my sister's house too lazy to work and too scared to break the law. So you either go to the employment office or you go to the penitentiary. Which one you choose? That's me though. So that's that.
Yep. You make money where make money where you can make it.
When you know, we were talking earlier about the different cultures. Let's talk about Indians for a minute.
Okay.
What's the average? What is the average career of Indians?
Doctor.
Ding, 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 and or they own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Ding, ding, ding. Right.
7-Eleven, 99-cent store.
So when that child come out, is he really coming out? Are they really saving for him? No, they're not saving for him. They're grooming that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're really doing that, that's one thing. But this is not that. Okay. How does she know she ain't even together. So how you gonna teach him how to get together? What are you allowing him to save? What are you telling him to invest in?
Well, like,
how are you placing him?
It's a house. Chances are it's a house. Chances are it's a house.
No, listen,
because that's her house, right?
No, I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
We was talking about letting them stay there until so they can save. Blah blah blah.
Correct.
No, you really think that he or she is financial literate to the point the way he's saving money? Be honest.
Say that
I'm
again?
gonna answer it. The answer is no. The answer is completely no.
No.
So the chances of this motherfucker saving money is not that great. He blowing the fuck out of money because he's living in his mama house.
Yeah.
buying dumb shit.
Jordans.
That's what's really going on. Buying Jordans, buying dumb shit, faking the funk with girls until they call him on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you move out? Why don't you move out? Until he start hearing that from some girl with that good, who gonna get that nose wide open, oh, he'll jump out that motherfucker then. He'll jump out then. Run, slap out the damn house because he want to be alone all the time with her.
If the mom doesn't ruin it though.
If the right one, he'll fucking disown that mama. He'll fucking completely ignore her ass.
Yeah.
To a point. But he is completely a mama's boy.
Yeah, he's
This my mama house. This my mama house.
30 years old,
and
man.
As long as my mama house. Sound like a fucking baby. Somebody, you gonna have to put me out. And you heard what dude said. Y'all shoot your ass out of here. Ain't got no problem putting you out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I said earlier, that's how niggas get killed. Right there. You got 2 lions, 2 tigers cannot walk on the same mountain. Ain't no grown ass men got no business. That's how stupid we are. Even fucking 4-legged lions know to get rid of them motherfucking males when they reach a fucking certain age, nigga. Mm-hmm. How the fuck is this so hard for us? But we supposed to be the highest level of the animal kingdom. But we do the dumbest shit. They go against humanity. They go against procreation.
Bro, you need to chill the fuck out, man.
We do the dumbest
shit. Go ahead.
They asked him about his children, and he was like, "My daughters could stay there in my house forever, but my son's got to go at 18, or 21, or something like that." He said, "They gotta go. My son's."
Who said that?
Shaq. Not too long ago, probably like a month
ago.
Yeah.
Not everyone grows up in that sort of situation. Not everyone sort of has a 2.1 family. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, not everyone has that sort of privilege. Whereas
I think
that's cool.
The fact that it's like, yo, they've got to go. They've got to go. I think that's that's where everything is getting fucked up, in my opinion. The fact that you're saying they've got to go instead of, okay, I'm setting him up to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I like
they gotta go.
I like they gotta go.
Going them to the wolves.
Why is that? Hold on. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious because in my opinion, I'm thinking that like, listen, as long as you as a parent are aligning, giving your kids some kind of damn structure for them to be able to follow and then make it up for the rest of the way as they go, that's gonna be good enough. If you literally said like, okay, if I'm in that same position, I'm going to be trying to help that kid get an apartment. After he gets that apartment, if he's not able to make the payments, that's on you now. But I gave you some kind of guidance, some kind of structure.
Yeah, totally. You can't do that. You can't control. Like, we get to a point in time, like, as younger, older people, and we try to dictate how the younger people are going to live their life. We can't do that. Like, you can't tell a younger person how that's going to work out. You're not in that position. Your position was your past. You can only dictate your past. You can only control what's going on in your future perspective. Like, you're sitting there, okay, cool. It's like, this is my life. Cool. That's your life. You built that shit up. Don't try to dictate that to the younger generation, please. Please.
Dictate what? Elaborate.
You can't. You have no place there. You're not part of that.
With what?
In terms of like the like, right? Okay, cool. Look, I rock with a brother. I rock with a brother on my channel, right? And I can't dictate shit to him because at the end of the day, he is going through some other stuff. It's like, we're older generation, and what I sort of see a lot of the time is we try to tell our younger generation what we've been through, and tell them that's how it's supposed to be. And it's not. That's just simply not the case.
I'm trying to follow what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm trying, but I'm
not really following.
Yeah, I have this problem all the time on YouTube.
No, I mean, like, what's the dynamic? Like, if you're talking about me talking to a stranger, you're right. But me talking to my kids, oh no.
No, I'm not talking about you talking to your kids. No. You talking to your kids is your own thing. That's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. Thank you, doctor. Exactly what I'm saying. You're talking to your kids, right?
Yeah.
In your own household.
Right.
But when look, you got doctor up there, right? So
Nothing to do with this, but go ahead.
No, yeah. People look up to that. Whatever.
Okay.
You be teacher, doctor, police officer, fireman, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Authority.
Okay.
You got a class, right? You're in a segment.
Okay.
So it's something people look up to. When like I have a daughter, right? So when she goes to school or nursery, they have these classes, as we did when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a policeman. I want to be a fireman. I want to be this or that. Right? You're in that category. You're a doctor. You got that stature. Okay.
Okay.
So when you talk, it means something.
Okay.
Right? So what I was saying was, at the end of the day, this happens. I don't remember what I was saying.
Jesus. Okay.
Right.
John, go ahead and talk.
So,
what the fuck?
Anyway, so you can't like
when
you as a father or mother, you gotta, if you just by kicking them out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kick them out.
You don't spring this shit on them all in one day. Like, these boys already know at a certain point they're not gonna be in my house.
Why'd you do
understand?
that to them?
They know that.
No,
And
but
they
why would you
embrace
do
that.
that? This is black culture 101.
Why would I do that?
We do this to our children. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it ain't gonna hurt them. They'll be
Yeah.
all right.
It's like,
They'll
you're
be
16,
just fine.
Get the fuck out. It's like,
Yeah,
why?
you know why? Do you know why they'll be just fine, Simon?
No idea.
Because you tell me, name me 6 teenagers that listen to what the fuck their parents tell them to do any fucking way. None. They do it on their own. They do it the way they want to do it. So the best way for them to do it is to be out there in their own shit doing it. Because they're not gonna follow your instruction no damn way. So you can lay down, you can give them $100,000 and you can do all these things, but in the end of the day, if they are not forced to manage the money, they will always come back. But if you put them out there and you either sink or fucking swim, they're gonna fucking swim. And you're gonna get to see what you raised. Because you should have been giving them a strong moral compass, a foundation, and a belief system when they were growing up. You don't raise kids when they damn 15 getting ready to leave. You start when they're damn out the womb. You start teaching them right from wrong. Out the womb. And it's a whole lifetime, and goddamn, 20 years, 21 years, they either got it or they don't got it. And they're gonna make the mistakes. And the only thing that you need to be around for is when they make those crucial mistakes so you can recalibrate their ass and push them back in the right direction. My son should be coming to visit me when they're 21, not waking up, walking through the fucking house. They shouldn't be. They are protectors and providers. So they need to go out there and find somebody to fucking protect and to provide for, because I don't need them providing for me and I don't need them protecting me. It's called roles.
I think I understand the getting them out a little bit more, because I guess now I'm looking at it more like when we go back to the animal kingdom, birds. They pushed them out of the tree. Listen, your wings are big enough. You got enough feathers on it. It's time for you to test it out. And that's it.
Why are you keeping them there? What point will you keep them there for? So y'all can argue with each other? For you to fuck around and have to pull a gun on your son and say, look, nigga, who the fuck you think you talking to? Who you raising your voice at? That ain't no, a young man does not need a fucking safe haven. For what? What are you protecting him from? Well, you need to let him get his life. I didn't have nobody let me get my fucking life together.
You know what? You know what? I'm glad you asked that question, because on to our next reaction video. This is what you're trying to protect your kids from. All right? Fair use. Fair fucking use.
I don't even like this already.
We have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one? Okay, so during third period, we...
Thoughts?
Homeschool, baby. Home.
I missed most of the things she said because my husband was talking to me, but at the end, is there a pride flag in the classroom?
So let's do.
You gotta play that again.
Yeah, we'll watch it. We'll watch it again real quick. All right.
I'm sorry, y'all.
We have announcements and they do the pledge of... Stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one? Okay, so during third period, we have announcements.
Oh my Lord Jesus Christ.
So, talking about protecting your kids. Going back.
This is why my children are homeschooled. Lord.
I think if you're willingly sending your kids to schools like that.
That's in California though.
That has to be California.
They ain't nowhere in the South, baby. I promise you that. I promise that fucking school will get burned to the ground. That shit ain't allowed down here.
But I think this agenda is kind of sweeping through most of schools.
Yeah, except for here.
What?
We passed laws against that shit immediately.
Yes.
At no level, you cannot fucking do it. You can't practice it. You can't dress outside your gender. None of that bullshit.
Black people, start sending your children to private schools. Like, stop this shit.
You gotta send them to private Christian private schools. You send them to private schools, boy. They trying to get off in there too.
Here's another teacher All right.
Oh yeah, I seen her before.
This is by a reaction channel, Just Pearly Things. So fair use.
Look at this.
Year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator.
And queer and neurodivergent. What the fuck is neurodivergent?
And we have been rocking our Choose class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous.
Get these crazies out of the school. I swear to God.
But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, "Well, I'm a girl today."
Stop it. Okay, how does genitals just casually come up at the lunch table? How? Get these people out of our school!
Thank you! This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator.
And queer and neurodivergent. What the fuck is neurodivergent?
And we have been rocking our Choose class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous.
Get these crazies out of the school. I swear to God.
But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, "Well, I'm a girl today."
Stop it. Okay, how does genitals just casually come up at the lunch table? How? Get these people out of our school!
Thank you!
Woo!
Did she say preschool?
Yes, she said preschool because they are recruiting, like we talked about a long time ago. There is no fucking reason that you should be talking about homosexuality to no fucking preschoolers at all. Period. Period. No reason.
Homosexuality. They're talking about genitals. Genitals. Skin color.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's no reason for you to be having these kind of discussions with preschoolers. You should be talking about your sexuality. You should be talking about who you want to fuck. That don't matter. You should be teaching, bro. Your sex ain't got nothing to do with their education, man. They are fucking babies, bro. Babies. Because you're trying to raise them to be and think that there's something else. Then you got a whole kid over here with a fucking making this motherfucker have a multiple personality. I'm a girl today. What the fuck you mean you're a girl today, nigga? How the fuck you gonna change to be a boy tomorrow? You think that's normal, nigga? That's all right. That's a fucking personality disorder. That ain't real, nigga. Well, goddamn it, I'm a crow today. How about that? Tomorrow I'm gonna be a dog. In the next 5 minutes, I might turn into a fucking gorilla and eat a banana. I don't know.
You're a black father, bro. Black father. You got the standard right behind you.
Yep, and they already know where we all stand on this shit. They can't convert them to.
We love that shit.
They know what they are.
But this is what's kind of. So there's things that are called sensitivity training, I think, in schools now, right? Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah, but a preschooler. That's crazy.
It's called acceptance, inclusion, and brainwashing. That's what it's called.
Sensitivity training, you're correct about that.
Okay. That's what it's called. Because a 5-year-old ain't never bullied nobody to make the motherfuckers go commit
in my son's school, they do send a letter before they're about to teach stuff like maybe consent or the body or like
how old? How old is it?
Is about to turn 9, and I think the first time I ever got a letter about it was when he was in kindergarten. Not pre-K, but kindergarten. I got a letter saying it was, and I was like, no, he don't need to know that right now. Because you had an option of them wanting to, if you wanted them to take that class or not.
What I'm so confused about is in Catholic schools, you don't see this rampant like single mothers. You don't see the rampant like STDs, HIVs, and all that stuff in kids coming out of Catholic schools.
Oh, you know
And
why?
in most Catholic schools, they don't talk about sex ed.
You know why?
They're not teaching sex education.
You know why?
The religious beliefs,
Yeah.
conservative religious
Now, we're not
beliefs.
going to say conservative. We're going to say that they follow a structure. It's called the Bible. And the Bible gives us basic instructions on how to be humans, right?
Basic
And you don't see all that
instructions
weird
before
shit
leaving Earth.
inside those schools. And you actually see bright kids going to bright colleges, making bright, having healthy fucking relationships instead of walking around here talking about I'm a bird. No, I'm a plane. I'm Supergirl. You don't see all that weird shit.
Oh shit! Listen, I understand that you're saying Catholic schools do this and do that, but I don't even think Catholic school could be like a standard in the sense of holding them up, because it's so many instances of Catholic priests doing stuff to children. So to me, Catholic school is not something to be held high.
Well,
I was raised a Catholic.
What
So
I'd say is, what's the alternative? What's the alternative?
Hold on, Simon. Let her finish, Simon.
I was raised Catholic, so I can talk about them. So yes, they do teach you the Bible. Yes, they do teach you basic stuff about being nice to people and all this other stuff. But there is still a dark side to being in the Catholic situation, because they are able to hide all of these things that they do to children. Not like the public school. Public school is coming out. Somebody world stalling it, somebody texting it, but they are able to hide these things. So to me, to hold Catholic school as a high standard, no, they still have disease. I know people who be like, oh, you want to have sex with somebody early? Go to a Catholic school. Go to a Catholic school. Get a Catholic school girl, because she'll give it up real easy. So we can't hold Catholic to a high standard. I disagree on that Catholic shit.
Go ahead, Simon. Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, the whole Catholic school thing, I understand where you're coming from. That's cool. Everyone has their own preferences, so it's a matter of what you believe in and what you're speaking on. Realistically, you're dear to, so that must mean something to you. So if it's not Catholic, then what's the next best thing? And what you're gonna adhere yourself as a leader, like, because I don't know. Are you married? I don't know. Probably are.
Me?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yes, I'm married. Yes.
All right. So there must be some sort of systemic sort of way of going about things in your own life. Therefore, your children will be looking to you as the leader, right? So you are responsible ultimately for indoctrinating your children, because that's what they're going to see. It's like, when I see my child, she's like, cool, but I'm not trying to indoctrinate her, but every 2 seconds I say something, she's reiterating that, and she picks up on things. Like she will say and see things that I do, regardless of whether I want her to do it or not. And it's beautiful, it's really beautiful to see a younger person, especially like when you've gone through that whole process of like, I don't know, process is a belittling term, but giving birth to a child is a big thing. It's a big thing.
Okay. So I think if anything, you're talking Catholic school, right? Unique. If anything, homeschooling, sure. Until we hit that point, I think Catholic school will be much higher standard to hold up than public schools. One, they actually give the
academics. Yes, you're correct with that.
They're teaching the kids structure. They're not pushing the indoctrination that they're pushing is a much healthier structure for life than public schools.
And what's wrong with indoctrinating your kid anyway? That's your job as a parent to indoctrinate them.
Yeah, leaving it up to the rest of the world, you're gonna have a bunch of trans kids walking everywhere.
I mean, that is your job to teach them as a parent. That is your job. You are ordered to do that.
Why did we think that it was okay for us to start sending our children to a school instead of them learning from us?
I don't know.
Why did that decision come? That was a money decision. That was a money decision.
So are you about to sort of are you about to have the time to actually teach your kid on a day-to-day basis?
You mean school-wise or like basic stuff? What are you talking about?
I wasn't posing that question to you. I was posing that question to the lady that spoke in terms of.
Well, now I'm trying to understand what you're saying too, because
I'll pose it to you. Like, all right, let's do this. Right. So it's like, as a parent, right? It's kind of tough. Like when you have to earn a living, pay the bills. Take care of all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's like you have a child, right? So how do you balance that out? Because one way or another, there's a cost factor. And if you're going to turn around and put your child in a position where, like, for example, they're going to nursery, school, whatever, you're going to have to pay for that. So are you going to be the person that turns around and goes, okay, I'm going to homeschool this person. I'm going to homeschool my child. Then what cost is that to you? Because you can't go to work.
That's tough. That's real tough.
It's a problem.
That's tough.
I understand that part.
I think it's
women
much easier with two people.
If you have two people, then you can do it.
Two people, it's definitely
I'm not talking about two people. I'm talking about it doesn't
as
work
a single
out.
parent, yes.
I can't.
Normally it doesn't work out like that.
It can work if you have.
It can. If you have two people, listen, it can work if you have two people and you regulate your finances. Like that's the biggest portion of it, because we try to live into our finances instead of trying to make our finances live to how we want to adjust our lifestyle. Every time we get a raise, we try to get a new car, get a new house.
Like you spend the extra all the time instead.
Exactly. We're keeping up with the Joneses.
I'm not being disingenuous. I'm just saying.
You're right.
You can think like you can earn as much money as you want. It doesn't work out like that. It really doesn't. Like when you're actually in that situation, I don't know, CKQ, if you've got children, but I'm just saying, like, it really does not work out like that. Like people do not have your back like that. It doesn't. It doesn't work out.
Your mother and father.
Exactly. It should literally just be one person. That if you made that decision and just. If you ran, I mean, listen, you know what? I am not in the situation that you are. I don't have that life experience. The only thing that I'm grasping out in my life is that I'm going to be having these uncomfortable conversations from day one.
And I'm schooling you
all
bro.
The way to
look, I love you, bro. I'm saying like you're a young kid. Look, I'm saying, look, pay attention. Like at the end of the day, what happens is these people will school you out, right? You have these conversations like, oh yeah, I'm gonna
school you out. What do you mean?
Right, I'm gonna get to that, right? You will have these conversations like, I'm gonna have a child, I'm gonna get married, I'm trying to be a family man. You're trying to be the good thing, right? You're trying to do the good thing. But what happens in actual fact is that people school out on you. You have the child, you get married, they will turn up to the wedding ceremony and eat the cake, and it'll be all good. But then you got to live with the rest of your life, and it becomes a problem because the person who you chose to be with is human, and you start to encounter things where it's like, no one's spoken to me about this, and it's not that they're a bad person or good person. It's just it's different, and that's all it is. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's just that thing. Do you get what I'm saying? We are all. It's not a black person thing, a white person thing. This is not a Caucasian thing, Latino thing.
It's a people thing. I understand.
It's a total people thing, but we don't want to have the conversation about the fact that we do not understand relationships right now. And I think what you're doing is brilliant because you're a brilliant person. And part of that is discipline. Part of it is just showing up. Part of it is just going to a job. And the thing is how come these women, I'm not red pill like that, but I'm just saying, how come these women do show up to a job? Woo!
How you doing, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
Hey, she's gonna get me in my emotions.
Hi.
How come these women do that? They recognize that they can show up to a job and get their check, and it's cool, but they can't fuck with us like that. You get what I'm saying? It's like they can't fuck with it. It's like, oh, I'm not. No, hold it. You're in a relationship situation. No, we got some kids. No, like it's like okay, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what you're saying, bro. Like you lost me a little bit. But John, go ahead.
All right, so I mean, I kind of get where he was going with this. As much as I would love more than anything to homeschool my babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be
a nightmare.
Fuck, it would be impossible. It would be impossible for me. The ability to do it is there. I can teach them every subject very thoroughly and have them ready for college, no problem. The only problem is I don't have time to do that because that will require, I couldn't work. Like I couldn't work at all. I would have to quit what I'm doing and just trade and start living off the money that I've got saved up for about 4 years, in which I could do that. But I don't want to do that because I've got bigger things and they're cool here. And plus the school climate is different here. So I don't have to do it.
You don't have to worry about that.
No, because Kay Ivy, you can Google her. She passes all kinds of fucking anti-LGBT literature all the time. Her and the guy in Florida, but I live in Alabama, and she passes all the time. We're not an LGBT friendly state, and we're proud of that. So the schools we don't support any of that crap. We don't support the personality disorders with all this. There is no email signature with pronouns. They don't teach pronouns. They don't do none of that. We only see him or her. There is no other. There's no fucking it, them, or they. We won't use that. You're not fixing to refer to yourself as a them, and it's just one of you motherfuckers. If you say them, it needs to be two people there. Okay? So we don't have to worry about that at the schools. Now, do you have kids affected by YouTube and other non-empirical platforms where there's no real research that supports any of this, and you got people with a lot of followers influencing these students, these kids? It's like a pandemic is broken out. The more popular YouTube became, then the more popular these agendas became. So that's where they learning this shit from.
I love your kids, bro. That's some serious shit.
So we don't really have to worry about it. But it's like Simon said, we don't really understand relationships. So you can start this endeavor with two people, right? Here we go. Them has been used as singular pronouns since the 1300s, FYI.
Bro, who's
Well, them has been outlawed as a singular pronoun for a long time after that, and it's incorrect grammar for you to refer to as a singular person as them, period. And you would definitely miss that on any grammar test that I've ever taken. Your subject verb agreement would not be an agreement. So you're not gonna say them went to the store. Them went to the store. Them did.
Them did. They sure did.
Can I respond to what Simon was saying about?
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Simon said it can't be done like you have to take, saying you have to work, you have to do this. It can be done with two people, because if you are focused on taking care of your children, if that's something that you are in agreement with, that you have to change your life and sacrifice and do different things, even work opposite shifts in order to take care of your children, and you are committed to that, it don't have nothing to do with if I'm still married or not. You have two people that are willing to put the children first. You could be married or not married and still take care of that child well enough to homeschool them and make those situations happen. It's up to you to sit here and say that it cannot be done with two people that are responsible for these souls that you brought here to be dedicated to them. Makes no sense to me. Now, if you decided to have children with somebody who puts themselves before the children, meaning that they don't really, they don't always care about the welfare of the children when it comes to that, then yes, they're gonna look at what their values are. If they care about more money and working,
go ahead.
if they care about more, if their values is more about just making money and not spending time with children, then they're not going to make those adjustments. They're not going to find those jobs where they can work opposite, where they can take care of children. It's all depends on what you want to do. Now, if you don't have the person that's reciprocating, that's trying to put the child first, then yes, it's going to be difficult, because that's who you married. That's who you was with. So you chose that person. You already knew how they was going to be. But to say it's not going to work and it doesn't work, I'm proof. My children have been homeschooled since the pandemic.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that.
I agree. They're homeschooled. So, and they not going back to school in that sense.
Hey, I just want to say that's my sister right there. That's my sister. We want to tell you that's my sister. That's my sister. Outstanding job. Great point, Yannick. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Chris, you wanted to add something to the panel?
Yeah, I agree with what Unique was just saying. I think it's definitely possible. I think it's more than possible. I think it's how it was supposed to be. I just think a lot of people got greedy. This idea, oh, 2 incomes, we can live off 2 incomes, have this lavish life, and they want to be the dinks for a while, then they have kids, and then when it's time to make that sacrifice, they don't want to. I think that's typically what happens. Even before that, people don't want to make the sacrifice. They don't. I don't know what it is, to be honest, but it's really sad. But it's definitely possible. People just don't want to do it. But I would go as far to say, if you cared about your children and putting them first, you wouldn't have gotten divorced in the first place. Either person. That's what I think. If you were putting them first, you would have stayed together until they were 18. It's just, you have to do what's best for them. You decide to bring them into the world. You can consider your life already sort of lived, but they have the rest of their lives to live, and they deserve a bit of a head start, I think. But yeah, I'm totally for homeschooling. I think that's probably the best way to go. If you live on the West Coast, especially if you live in California, I pull my kids out immediately, unless it's like the conservative side of California, but even there isn't that good. So
yeah,
Chris is like, I ain't doing another tax return. My baby.
I would leave. And it's
the whole fucking state too.
Jersey's not.
You can't homeschool them too. You can you can do other things. Like you can teach them, you can make sure they bring home everything that they're learning in school and teach them the right way.
Do the extra part.
Yes, you got to do the extra stuff. Like, yeah, they at school, but let me find out what they've been learning. Let me find out what the teacher told them so I can tell them the right thing or what's going on.
Right.
So
Exactly.
even if you can't leave them, you know what I'm saying? If you can't keep them home, I understand that sometimes it just don't work that way. I would still work on that. Like, I would still be like, even if you can't have it now, continue to find those avenues of trying to be that way.
Just be more involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make the sacrifice so you can be involved with your children in their lives. Like, I don't think people realize how much their education or lack of can affect them.
Be good fan of.
You know, they don't think about it. And the teachers are killing. I was listening to those videos when I was driving back home of those teachers, that stupid pride flag and the kids saying allegiance to it. I would pull my kid out the same day. It would be over. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it would be
your beliefs off on my child.
Did anybody hear the story of it went viral? This little boy came home with a dress on from school. So the man goes to the school and asked and told the teacher, listen, you put that dress on my son. Yeah, we were doing playing this, dress up and this and that. And I teach my children this and I teach my children that. And it's a part of the curriculum. And yes, I put it on him. He was like, listen, I don't care what you teaching in here. Don't put any dress on my child. And they was like, well, you can't take it up with me. I get to run my class anyhow I want to. You need to take it up with the administrator.
Get over it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You're putting a dress on my boy child, and I'm supposed to
get over
that?
Get over it.
I'm supposed to get over that.
No, they wouldn't even have it. They'd call me from school. Daddy, they trying to make me wear a dress. Who? This teacher. I'm on my way. I'll be
get
there
over.
in 5
Look.
minutes.
Oh, okay, right. So, I'll give you a paradox.
Oh, I want to hear this. This is gonna be good.
I bring my daughter to a school or nursery. Okay, I don't approve of what they do on a day-to-day basis. I don't approve of what they do on a day-to-day basis. I'm gonna say this on the third, just so that you register what's going on. I don't approve on it on a day-to-day basis. I don't want my child to be in childcare in the first place. I prefer for her to be with me.
But you got to work.
Right. So whatever happens, I'm not in control in. So our problem is we do not connect. We do not have a connection where we're actually registering with each other. So like, bro, it's like, okay, over there, look, I've got some shit going on. Like, you know, why do I need to deal with this childcare? Why am I having to actually put my child into childcare when we know damn better? We're not doing anything. Why are we complaining? Don't complain if you don't know anything. You don't know what's going on beneath your surface level. When you got these guys that are out there on blue collar sort of situations, dealing with certain types of jobs and cleaning out your sewers just to enable you to have clean water that you wake up in the morning and drink. You are privileged. You act cool and it's just basic childish shit. You don't understand what's going on in the oil rigs. You don't understand. And it's the same with women. Like, and men want to come at men in the same sort of way. Like, women do this sort of basic stuff, but We complain about women, but men don't actually understand their own shit. You want to come at men in the same sort of way. When was the last time, bro, you put two bricks together with cement in between? When was the last time you did that? We're comfortable. We're too comfortable. We're comfortable, and it's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, and there is something wrong with it, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot wrong with it.
You reckon? I don't know.
I'm still stuck on the boy coming home with the dress. I can't get past it. I'm there.
Bro, look, I'll wear a dress in my fucking 424, right? Just to prove a point.
What?
Okay. Say that again?
I mean, it's just not okay. Especially when you doing, it's not okay for a little boy to be placed in a dress. It's not okay.
Why do you think that?
It's not okay.
I know
for me to
for
send...
fact it's not okay. This is. Go ahead.
The issue with
why do we
I
have
sent-
Hold on, Simon.
Yeah.
I sent my child to school with clothes on. You have the nerve to have my child change their clothes at school to meet whatever agenda you want. That's inappropriate. And then depending on the age of the child, I don't want there's no reason for my child to change at school. If they had an accident or something, let me know. I'll bring my child new clothes. But don't put my child in some random clothes because you think that they feel like a girl today or that they should be able to express themselves. That's not your call to make. And the issue is people don't stay in their line, or they don't stay in their lane, and it's very frustrating. Do your job. Your job is not dress my child, is to teach my child academics, not politics, not social issues.
Yep.
Just teach my child math, science, English, history, and go home before I find the person on the board, blackmail them so I can get on the board and get you fired. Because I promise you.
Can I just quickly address that? Okay, look, I understand where you're coming from, but the fact is you can't have an argue and a say so in something that is just life. Like, you can't say, "Oh, my child can't participate in this or that." When
Yes,
you're
I
not, you can't.
Yeah, I can. I'm the parent. I can.
You
That's
can't.
why they have these little slips
just
called parental permission slips.
Listen for a second. You're giving your child over to somebody else
to teach, and you
no, hold it for a second. You're giving your child over to someone.
Mm-hmm.
You're not teaching in that moment. You're somewhere else. That person has parental. It's called something. It's Latin, but it's called something where they have responsibility for your child whilst they're in your child's care. You can't do that. You can't have double standards, and this is the problem with our community. Double standards. You want to turn around and go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give my child over, but yeah, you gotta conform with the way we live in our household." No, it doesn't work like that. It's a standard, and it's a problem because
I get what Simon's saying. Actually, surprisingly, I get what you're saying.
Who the fuck saying? Oh wow, okay.
It's surprising.
I get what he's saying.
No, it's for real. That's what it is because that's my job. Like I work with students, I work with people, and that's what it is. Like at the end of the day, I don't like it, but dude, I have to hand over my 4-year-old daughter, and I hate it. But the people that are responsible for her, and I have to, come back and collect her at the end of the day, when I've done my job, it's like you can't complain. So what are you dealing with? Unless you're about to turn around and go, okay, I'm gonna do homeschooling.
I see what you're saying.
It's not going to happen. Like, we don't have that energy. We don't have that time. You can't put that on people because people are people. Like, they're just people. Like, they have their flaws.
But the question... Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
All right, Mrs. Cool. I love you.
Oh, my God.
The question
I've got to get to another call, so I can't be on here for too long because...
Oh, sorry. If you want to finish, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done.
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. The issue is where do we draw the line? You know, like at some point, like that child is still my child. I'm still responsible. Even though you hand him over temporarily for 8 or so hours a day, where do you draw the line with what they are allowed to do with your child, right? Like my future husband can kiss my daughter on the cheek, but can the male teacher do the same thing because they're responsible for my child?
Nope.
Like, where do you draw the line? Don't change my
Blooming,
child's
like,
clothes at school.
You have no say in the matter, and this is the problem.
That's true.
I mean, you live over in Europe. In the United States, you have say.
Don't do that thing. Don't do that thing. No, it's not a thing of I'm over here, you're over here. It's relative. The fact of the matter is you damn well know, doctor. You want to syringe us, right? If you want to put your child in a setting, you're handing them over to people. You're handing them over to other people.
Yeah, but you've not
got to walk up and do another job.
Parental rights, man.
Look,
I know what you're saying, bro, but that's with the understanding
about the whole thing. It's like I walk out. Look, my child's going in. I walk out. I've got to go to my job. Right? That's what it is. That's the service, right?
So the rat taking care of him for a couple hours now?
No. I'm still gonna say something. Know that. I'm gonna ride with mine.
I think there's an issue in thinking that we're completely powerless. Like the point of having the public school system and paying taxes towards it is the idea that the taxpayers have a say, some say, and we see this pretty often, especially now with them trying to teach critical race theory and also trying to increase the amount of curriculum around LGBT, the ABC people. Like parents are speaking up, and I think they're winning a lot of communities. So I think it's just a matter of what you're willing to do. Are you willing to sit on the board at your school? Are you willing to do these things? I don't think we're completely powerless, and I think that mentality kind of hurts our community quite a bit, because oftentimes who gets hurt with that type of mindset, right? What typically the schools that, at least in US, the schools that are lower income or where the parents are less involved typically is people of color. So I think we need to be telling parents to get more involved because they can and because they have some control, versus saying that they're powerless. They already feel that way, which is why they're not involved now. But in other schools, they're fairly involved. My mom, she moved mountains to switch my entire district so I wouldn't have to go to a certain type of school. It's doable. You just have to try and do it. Get more involved in your kids' lives and work harder, right? I think it's lazy to just say that we don't have any control over a school system that we fund.
Exactly.
Speaking on laziness, lazy parenting, I want to do a quick reaction video. All right. So, fair use.
Cassie. Mom, I'm saying this because you know how you told me men are providers of the right? In our okay. Yeah. So you know how David's dad stay home, right?
Yes.
While David's mom goes out and work.
Okay.
So they was bothering me, talking about all the other stuff, and I was like, "That's why your dad's a bitch." And then he's like, I'm gonna tell your mom, blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, but I don't want you to be mad at me because I call him a bitch because he stays home while his wife is working. They want to speak to you downstairs.
So I was about to make and my daughter came in with this.
Sassy. Mom, I'm gonna tell you this before they tell you this because they're gonna say a lie. Because you know how you told me men are providers and protectors, right?
Men are providers and protectors.
So that means they go outside and work.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you know how David's dad stay home, right?
Yes.
While David's mom goes out and work.
Okay.
So they was bothering me, talking about all the other stuff, and I was like, "That's why your dad's a bitch." And then he's like, "I'm gonna tell your mom, blah blah blah." So I was like, "Okay, but I don't want you to be mad at me because I call him a bitch because he stays home while his wife is working." They want to speak to you downstairs.
Man, I love that video. It's such a heartwarming
Say
video.
they do the whole bitch. Hey, you let that woman go to work, you a whole bitch, bro.
I don't want you to get mad at me because it's called Zach
Cleaning,
bitch.
watching laundry, doing laundry and shit, nigga. Yeah, when you gonna have another baby, nigga? I got a raise. I want us to have another child.
I couldn't do that, man. I pull up some fucking clips, man. That was good.
That was good.
But I think parenting is definitely necessary. I think leaving it up to the teachers is not something we can do.
No.
Yeah. Because I mean, really, we're not leaving it up to the teachers. We're leaving it up to the what is it, the board? And the board's going to do everything to comply to keep getting money with, even if that's following all the social justice bullshit, you know? They're going to do what they can to fund the school. And I know aren't charter schools supposed to be better than regular public schools? And it's
Charter schools
infiltrated.
is still funded.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is like, those are typically supposed to be better than a regular public school. Really?
Because they still fund it, so they gotta adhere to. They're not private.
I'm not saying that they don't have to, because I'm saying they're typically supposed to be better than a regular general public school.
Yeah, that's the goal.
But those are still being infiltrated by this kind of BS.
Yeah. Because if they're funded, just like when Biden signed that executive order, right?
Fucking Biden.
You had to, if you receive any funding, in order for you to keep that funding, you had to let boys compete against girls, and I'm not even gonna say girls competing because girls don't even want to fucking compete against boys because it's a damn no win situation.
Yeah.
But girls competing, let boys pretending to be girls compete against actual girls. You would lose your funding if you didn't do that.
So beautiful to see like black families.
And I'm gonna close out the show on one last reaction that I actually haven't seen yet. So this is gonna be a group reaction for all of us. Actually, let's see. Let's drop this on this screen. Do a little bit of this. Do a little dance. Make a little love. And fair use.
Normalize. Yeah.
Normal for kids to be looking at this? Is that okay?
No, it's not. It's wrong.
This is propaganda.
Yeah.
This is
Normalizing.
It's affecting the next generation.
Yeah.
I don't know why no one sees this.
No.
This is disgusting.
Because TV told them not to get upset. Oh, what the? Nicely done, babe. Nicely done.
Divide and conquer. That's what the Chinese want. They're trying to divide and conquer us. The government is against us, and you guys don't see it. You guys think that you take a vaccine and this is going to go away? It's never going to go away. So we, the people, say we don't want this anymore.
Thank you. Watch and learn. That's what bravery looks like. Saying no to propaganda.
Yes.
This is propaganda.
Yes.
It's propaganda.
It's not about equality, guys. Okay, so it makes more sense to have a shot pass than a vaccine pass.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Most of the people in the ICU are overweight. But we don't want to fat shame. No, we don't want to fat shame.
Take a look at some of these. Every single pansexual they're appealing to. I don't know what bubblegum has to do with this. Then non-binary people as well. And here's one more. I think we have one more. Yeah, this one's a little. Every single vaxxer. And, you know, someone actually ripped this one down from a New York subway because they were so offended by it.
After seeing a September 9th school board meeting in Texas on pornography in the schools, I decided to check the titles at my child's school, Fairfax High School. The books were available, and we checked them out. Both of these books include pedophilia, sex between men and boys. Both books describe different acts. One book describes a 4th grade boy performing oral sex on an adult male. The other book has detailed illustrations of a man having sex with a boy. The illustrations include fellatio, sex toys, masturbation, and violent nudity. Pedophilia here. From the author, Maya Kobabe.
They tried to get
Quote, I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I am going to give you the blowjob of your life, and then I want you inside me, end quote. From the author, Jonathan Evison. What if I told you I touched another guy's dick? What if I told you I sucked it? I was 10 years old, but it's true. I sucked Doug Goebel's dick, the real estate guy, and he sucked mine too. This is not an oversight at Fairfax High School. This material,
there are children in the audience here.
Do not interrupt my time. My time is restored and my time is finished. These books are in stock and available in the libraries of Robinson,
for high school,
Langley, and Annandale High School. Pornography is offensive to all people. It is offensive to common decency. It is the reason why the MPAA.
Yeah, I'm confused. Did they cut off her mic and then the audience started clapping for her? Or start clapping because they cut off her mic?
They don't want people to know.
Correct.
This right here further goes with what I've always said. It's the same thing that Umar Johnson said, and that's what you're seeing, brother. 97% of those who engage in this type of behavior have experienced childhood sexual trauma. Those books are talking about those childhood sexual trauma that they experienced. When he was 10, he did this grown man, and this grown man did him back. This is where all of this meets the road. So instead of getting these people the mental health help that they need, you have pushed this whole thing forward and try to normalize it amongst heterosexuals. No matter, despite the research, despite all of the research, how many more? I can understand if it hasn't been like a large sample size. Brother, they did 500,000 identical twins, nigga. There is no gay gene. You were not born gay. So there's an environmental factor that causes you to engage in that type of behavior. That's why you see certain women, when they get offended by a man, they go to a woman. When they get offended by a woman, they go back to a man. I'm a heterosexual. At no point will I ever go to a man. I don't give a damn if a woman offend me. I'm gonna keep moving toward a different woman.
Right.
Because I wasn't touched when I was a little boy. Wasn't nothing wrong with it. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But you're teaching this shit to children now. You are recruiting children. A lot of people don't know that there's a practice amongst men homosexuals called a bear in the young buck, where you intentionally go after young boys.
Clover love too. Go look that up.
Wait till they start getting now right around the corner is they're gonna introduce pedophilia, nigga. That's next.
I think they were trying to.
They ain't no trying. It's
Already
in
started.
fucking making.
Mm-hmm.
They are grooming the whole world for pedophilia acceptance. I'm gonna say it again.
A sexual orientation.
They are grooming the whole world. The first thing you do when you're grooming is to get into the young mind so that it's not wrong. It's okay. When you get them where it's okay by teaching them that young, when you introduce it to them at 10, 11, they're not going to tell their parents. Because what they're going to tell them is, it is okay for you to express who you are, just like you can express your gender. You can express love for an older person. There's nothing wrong with this. And if your parents don't agree, they don't love you. They're not being accepting of you. Why do you think all children say the same shit? My parents don't accept me. My parents don't accept my decision. They getting coached, bruh. Don't be stupid. Then you have all these other people with this dumb shit holding their mouth. You're just being home. No, nigga, I'm smart as fuck. I'm not dumb. I pay attention. I'm wide awake, nigga. That's why I groom my boys. To understand the bullshit that y'all try to put on. And I teach them the right birds and the bees. That thing down there is for a woman. Ain't for no damn man. Women have babies from men, not from a fucking clinic, unless you just have to. You understand? And even the sperm come from the goddamn man. If we was meant to be any fucking other way, we would be that way. But we are not. And the shit is not a fucking race, and quit comparing it to fucking blacks. I was born this fucking way. You chose to be that way. Either you chose it by not getting fucking help and denying the fact that something happened to you because you want to repress that shit because it's embarrassing. I get it. But stop normalizing this bullshit. Not one shred of fucking evidence that's empirical that can stand up to a major journal supports this bullshit. None. Not one. But they treat it like it's just a goddamn new discovery. Not one. No evidence. But they talk like it's a fucking evidence. People with big channels. None. You hear doctors who are fucking medical doctors say that this is a fucking mental illness. Go on Dark Horse Podcast. They talk about it all the time. You got several MDs on there, medical doctors. You got doctors that specialize in hormones. Even certain psychiatrists who are not trying to pad their pocket for gender mutilation to occur. That shit don't help them damn kids. Kids who are affected by anxiety and depression. Anxiety is oftentimes comorbid with depression. When they get their shit changed, they still fucking kill themselves. And a high percentage that's not published want to change back. And then at 12 years old, I can influence these damn boys to be a fucking 18 different goddamn things just by talking to them. I can let them watch certain things. They watch the cops, they want to be a fucking cop. If they watch firefighters, they want to be a fucking firefighter. They 12, by the way, the same age as these superstars who trying to cut his damn penis off. Just want to throw that out there. So if you influence the little motherfucker to be something, that's what he's going to want to be. Because he has not reached identity attainment. There's phases to this shit. You may not reach identity attainment till you're 25 fucking years old. The prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until you're 25. But you are allowing, no one is speaking up against the shit. No one. So I have a problem with it. A very bad problem with it. And it's not that I hate anybody. I just love the truth. And that, my friends, is not the fucking truth. It's a fucking lie. And I'm done.
It was good. That was good. I like that. That's definitely gonna be clipped and dropped somewhere. You might go viral from that. Just letting you know.
Don't forget me, John, when you're at the top.
To Mother, how you doing?
I'm good, son. How are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Hey, tu madre.
Hi, guys and gals. I'm sorry. Do you have a pronoun? Am I wrong politically?
I'm about to kick you off the platform. That's it.
So I was not going to call in tonight, but this subject is very touching. I prayed earlier, and now you guys have made me have to ask for forgiveness, and then I'll have to ask for forgiveness later, because I'm about to say some stuff.
Speak your truth.
First off, when in the royal fucks did LGBTQ and whatever else the other pronouns are became a history that our kids have to learn this in school? My kids are grown, but I'm scared for my grandkids and their children, and with all this stuff that's going on. And it's not only on social media and in school, but also in corporate environment, that this stuff is being taught, that you have to address people by their pronoun, okay? Or if you're having a conversation and somebody else hear you, even though you're not talking to them, they can bring, file complaints against you because they felt offended. And listen, I know a lot of very dangerous words, but why would somebody bring your child home in a dress when you send him to school in a pants? Seriously? I mean, come on. That's just downright disrespectful. Okay, and this is why parents need to be involved. They need to be involved in their kids' lives, in their kids' education, and whatever the hell's fuck is going on in these school system. Because I don't recall when I was going to school, LGBTQ plus and all this was an education. I don't recall when my kids were going to school, this was an education. My kids went to both private school and public school. Once I found out I was paying for public school in taxes, I took them out of private school and put them in public school. And I found out that public school, with the funding, had way more curriculums than private school, which was a plus. And they weren't teaching them that crap. So, that was okay with me. And I agree that it is hard for parents to put their kids in private school and to put their kids in homeschool, because it's very expensive for private school, and for homeschool, you're gonna have to not work unless the other party is making enough money for it. But I'm sorry, were you saying something?
Go ahead, keep talking.
Yes, unless the other party is making enough money to sustain both of you while you're homeschooling your children. Because at a young age, if you're a single parent, you cannot homeschool your children, because at some point you're gonna have to go to work because you're gonna have bills to pay. You said you're gonna homeschool them during the day. At some point, you're gonna have to pay for a babysitter so you can get a job and go to work to make money to take care of your responsibilities. But I mean, those books, seriously? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's I cannot imagine. My kids going to school having to read books like that. I recall my parents going to school and they're reading Dan is the man in the van, and um Master Willie came into Mr. Grum's yard and stuff like that, and they were educated, and we have lawyers and judges and presidents and all of this with this kind of education. So why do they think that teaching kids that, okay, so it's okay for you to choose your gender, it doesn't matter what you was born as, that little string or little thing between your leg, it doesn't make a difference. You can say what you want to be, and people have to respect that. My thing is, why are we being forced to accept that instead of trusting in our values and our upbringing and how we think? Right? And it's only fair on one side as far as this is concerned, because now you're telling me that LGBTQ plus and whatever letter in the alphabet they choose to be identified as is okay. And I have to respect that I cannot say, I do not agree with that. Because now I'm going to get in trouble because I'm not going to, you were plainly born with a dick. So why in the bloody hell am I calling you miss? Are you 50? Are you 60? No, because you're 25, or you're 18, or you're 10, or however old you are. So now you want me to call you 18, 25, or 10, but you want me to call you miss with a dick between your legs. Really?
And a full ass beard.
Exactly. Exactly. It's, and like I said, during the COVID, a lot of these parents, they were frustrated and they were angry and they're upset and they want their kids to go to school, even if they get COVID and die. So I don't have to deal with them at home, because a lot of parents are not dealing with their children. And this is why, the government, the school, the educational system can tell us it's okay, for us to teach your children this, because when you come home at night from work or wherever the fuck you been, you're not interested in their education. So now we're allowed to swing them every damn which way we can. And you had to deal with your kids for what? A year, 2 years? And you're already tired of it. Within the first few months of homeschooling, parents were complaining. So why is it that a teacher have to deal with your child 8 hours a day and you just have to deal with them an hour to 45 minutes and then put their asses to bed without worrying what the school is teaching them? It's time for parents to get upset. It's time for parents to stop this bullshit from corrupting our children. Because I'm really worried about my kids and my grandkids. I'm not worried about their grown ass folks. I am worried about my kids. I'm worried about my grandkids and, their children or whatever the case is. And for everybody who is homeschooling their kids, for everyone who are homeschooling their kids, I applaud you for that. Because you take a great interest in your kids' education. Not all of us can do that. But those of us who can do that, we should pay attention to what our kids are learning. Even if it's 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, you're tired, but guess what? These kids you're going to have to deal with as they get older, because they will get rebellious at some age. We have the terrible twos and the try and threes. Wait until they hit the teenage years, and wait until they hit that grown ass man years that didn't want to get out of his mother's house, and she allowed him to do it. If she had a reason to have him there, if she's like, okay, he's saving his money so he can buy a house or so he can get his own place or whatever the case is, fine. Okay, so he's doing this and he's doing this because you see that money So it's okay if you say you don't have to pay bills, but you still teach them responsibility. But you don't bring someone else into your life and then tell them, you don't talk to my child like that, because once you get involved with someone who has a child, that person take the place of that missing parent. And that person will have to talk to that child and train that child and teach that child the same way a parent would. And if you come in the middle and say, you don't talk to my son like that, or you don't talk to my daughter like that, then clearly you're not ready to be in a relationship to have somebody else step in and take a parent role.
I think John wanted to say.
I'm sorry?
I think John wanted to say something earlier. He was going to jump in earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. Jump on in.
No, she got it. She's saying every damn thing that I might say. Go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, because from looking at the video, thanks, John. From looking at the video, clearly, it was 2 against 1. And I want him to do what he has to do with his money. Yes, and I agree. What he's gonna do, he's gonna go out and buy, an expensive pair of sneakers, some jeans with some holes in it. That you can buy a full pair of jeans and eventually work some holes into it without paying $150 for it, and all this other stuff. She never said he's saving his money for anything and all of this. And first of all, I truly do not agree with any woman that tell a man, well, that's my child, and you can't talk that way to my child, and he's gonna be here forever, and you're gonna leave whenever, and you don't like it that I don't want him to pay bills and all that, then you can get out. If you're gonna tell a man to get out your house, then you better have a damn good reason to do it. Not because you don't want your child to be responsible. I think I might have rambled on a little too much. But, I'm sorry. When I get going, I go.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I didn't think you would. But I do appreciate you guys listening to me. Sorry. And I thank you for listening.
No, not at all. You were speaking facts. But I'm actually going to be closing out the panel. Do we have any last words? Final comments?
There was something that I actually disagree with that I forgot about, but Tumandre reminded me. I think Dr. John said that he was going at 2021, you're going to kick out your kids, and then they can so they can be providers and protectors. Oops, sorry, I hit my mic. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. I don't see how that works. I think that's too early for young men to just go off on their own and then provide and protect and find a woman and provide and protect. I don't know how that would go. That was something I was kind of struggling with. I didn't understand that.
Well, no, I'm not going to encourage them to go find a woman. I'm just saying they know that they are providers and protectors. So they need to be looking for someone to provide and protect for. And I meant it generally, not at that particular age, because keeping them around the house is useless. And the reason I say it's useless is because I know when you raise them the way that I raise my kids, I raise my boys to be responsible, and I raised them to understand life. I don't lie to them. I tell them the truth, and they're gonna want to make decisions. I raised them to be decision makers. So you're not gonna be living in my house making decisions, and I have to, and I'm still linked to you to the point to where I'm gonna be directly affected by a decision that you make, right or wrong. And I don't want to be there to no, you don't need to do that. You need to do, no, I want you to learn, because the best lessons that I've learned are the ones that I fucked up on. Those are the ones I learned the most from. I don't want to be there to I want them to go out there, go experience college life. I want them to go to college, but I don't want them to stay at home. I want them to go off to college. I want them to go off to college. That be the first time that they're living on their own, get their feet wet, find a job, call me. I just want to be their advisor, but the ultimate decision is up to them. But sticking around my house, they understand about investments. They understand that they need to save their money. They understand to they understand not to give in to immediate gratification. They are learning these lessons right now, right? So me so when they get ready to buy a home and all these things, they'll be ready. They would have saved their money. They can save money while they're living on their own. They understand sacrifice. And they're gonna, and as they get older, they're gonna understand it even more because I'm gonna teach it to them. By the time that they're 21, they'll be good to go. That's a good age to get on out the house. Bye. Go on out.
Go on, get it.
They're full. You got a full set of wings, bro. You can fly. You just gotta believe you can fly.
Okay, so you're saying it more so from the perspective that you're planning on having them prepared for life by the time they're 21.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that makes sense. That makes sense.
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Chris.
Any other comments? Unique? Okay. So we're going to close out our panel our usual style. We got the doctor who went off today.
Yeah, I kind of got triggered a little bit with all the lies that's being told out here, but you can always find me on behavioral underscore consultant on IG. I post a lot of videos about interactions with my babies, and the reason I do that is some of the followers who are single men. I want you to see that it's cool to be in your kid's life. It's cool to spend a lot of time with them. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's cool to be affectionate with your boys. As manly a man I am, I still let my boys lay around, take naps with me. I kiss on them all the time. I love on them all the time because I think boys need that from their dads and all. They get rid of that nonsense talking about some stop crying, don't do this, don't do that. You gotta let them express their feelings sometimes, even though I don't like to hear all that crying crap when they whine. I don't care about the whining. You can also find me on Black Wall Street Trading LLC. Where I don't post very often on there, but you really want to find me here every Tuesday with CKQ. Hit that like button and subscribe, man.
We got Unique. Unique is the night.
Hey, all right. So first of all, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe for CKQ every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. I'm gonna try to be on time. I'm sorry I was a little half an hour late this time. But you can always go to CKQ and check out the beginning of the podcast. Also being streamed on 3 Married Ladies Opinions, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. You can look what we have up there right now. So there's plenty of interviews, there's plenty of things. Just go check it out. What I wanted to say as far as like when it comes to LGBT stuff, my final thought, I have 2 close friends that are, consider themselves like in the same sex or whatever, right? And I love them. But as far as my children, it's all bets off. Like if you grown and that's what you want to be, fine. But when they start pushing it on our children, it's like, okay, something going on. Like I don't have no hate towards anybody that's a grown adult and decide to do those things. But my children should be left alone, period, when it comes to that. And that's it.
We got Chris.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad I was able to make it. I guess what I would say is try to be involved with your kids. I've yet to hear someone say that they regret being home with their children. They typically will say they wish they had more time with their kids. They wish that they could get that time back, but they never say that they wish they would have started their career sooner, right? And they spent too much time with their children. I've yet to hear that. So if you can, I would say make the sacrifice. I think it can be worth it. If you don't have kids yet, I'm hoping on my channel to talk about how I'm preparing to be a homemaker and hopefully someday a stay-at-home mom who's also working. I'm working towards my CPA at the moment, which is why I'm not as active on my channel, The Blooming Ebony, for those of you who don't know. But outside of my channel, you can find me here on CKQ Podcast every Tuesday and also on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony. And I think I have an echo.
No, you're good.
Okay, good. All right. Happy blooming, everyone. I'll see you next week.
And we got to Madre, who might or might not be there. I'm gonna assume. Yep.
I'm still here. Sorry, I muted my mic. I'm still learning.
That's all right.
Yes.
Closing comments.
First of all, Chris, you're young. You're gonna hear a lot of people later, and that are tired of their kids. So prepare yourself. Second of all, I finished doing my praying and meditation before I got on this show, and you guys made me curse. But I asked for forgiveness before, so I'm good. I have to ask for forgiveness later. And pay attention to your children. Pay attention to what the schools are teaching them. John, I apologize for using profanities. I forgot your children were there. They don't need to learn it from me. You say it in front of them is fine, but I don't need to be saying it in front of them. So I do apologize for that. But I really thank you guys, for listening to me. And CKQ, thanks for having me on your show again. I love you. Hit that like button, subscribe. You guys know the deal.
Look at you getting all YouTube savvy.
I know,
right? My closing comments for the show that we had tonight is, like John was saying, fathers, you got to really be there for your children. It's not enough to just be a paycheck. I'm not a father yet, and that is my goal when I am a father, is I'm going to spend that extra time, stay that extra, hour and a half awake instead of just going to sleep, to spend more time with my kids, educate them, teach them, instead of just expecting them to know. Because expecting them to know, you're going to be expecting the worst out of them every single time, because you don't know what you don't know. So be a good parent by being there for your kids, especially fathers. Fathers need to be doing this, be in your kids' lives. Get involved with what they like. Teach them about the world. Teach them about finances. Teach them, because they're hungry to learn. But if you're not going to be there for them, they're not going to learn anything, or they're going to learn all the wrong things. So that's my closing statement to the fathers out there. It has been an amazing show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Everyone here has their own show. We got the Blooming Ebony down there, Three Married Ladies Opinion. We got the Black Wall Street LLC. We're all here to try to help you in whatever way we can. So check out these other channels. But until next time, that is it. And we will see you next week. Good night.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their father.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth, start speaking the truth. Might get shot.
I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
But the whole thing is men are I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we could paint the perfect picture without belittling each other, because under God's system,
we are equipped to handle that responsibility, but not every man is fit to handle that responsibility.
I done seen Flint, Michigan,
and it's just being
cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep.
So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they can find someone.
And expecting you to do your part. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School rob you with needed resources.
Is the weaker vessel and the more vulnerable
Absolutely.
vessel.
100%.
You don't look at the man like, oh, poor son, you were violated. No, you like, bro.
And nobody.
They shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts, come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all I play their part. And it's the start.
Put myself in a situation where I can only rely on a man. Like if I'm married and being a stay-at-home mom, I need to have a backup in case anything happens. I can't only rely on him. You know what I'm saying?
A flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
See, I'm a poet, and the best part of me shows it here to speak the message of what is known but not